Celebrities are running for the hills, European hills that is, for they have had enough of America. They're getting out of here post-election. But folks, the funny thing about it is, there's big money in celebrities and their crazy, wacky endorsements and silly opinions. So now, the entertainment industry is begging them, please, celebrities, don't follow through on your threat. Please don't leave. Please don't leave. We'll show it all to you right now. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the happiest YouTube channel there ever was. Lauren Connor is with us, and of course, we know that makes all of you overjoyed. Lauren, welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Folks, today we're going to be talking about these poor celebrities. We feel so sorry for them. They're all fleeing, getting on their little rafts and trying to head over to the glory land of France. I'm not sure they're going to be able to find their way to the French Riviera, but at least they're going to try. What are we talking about? Well, take a look at this, folks. As you click that like button, we'll get started. Daily Mail Online says George Clooney taking step back from politics after being made a scapegoat for Kamala Harris' loss. They're all blaming each other. And yes, folks, we will indeedly doodly get to the list. Take a look at that. It's a list of all the celebrities who said they're out of here. They're gone. They won't stay here no mo now that Trump is back. But first, let's go read about George Clooney. Daily Mail out of the UK has this one. And let me tell you, it appears that they love advertisements. And boy, oh boy, do they want to sell me a neon sign. Apologies, folks. Can't turn off the ad filter. They won't let me. George Clooney taking step back from politics after being made a scapegoat for Kamala Harris' loss. It's by James Vetuska. Man, that's a cool last name. George Clooney feels he is being used as a scapegoat in the furious blame game over who could have cost Kamala Harris the election and will now take a step back from politics. The Hollywood star, 63 years old, threw his support behind Harris after penning a blistering op-ed on why Joe Biden would cost the Democrats the win if he did not abandon his campaign. But it still wasn't enough to prevent a historic victory for the Donald. Clooney has since been criticized by Democrats for his influence during the election, with some claiming Harris' loss was his fault. The Oscar winner is disheartened by the backlash, with insiders claiming he did not immediately endorse Harris because he felt the Democrats should have taken a step back to weigh up their options. Lots of steps being taken back. Let me tell you, lots of backlash, lots of back steps, lots of taking a step back going on all through this article. Lauren, what do you make of the idea that the celebrities are turning on one another right now? What do you make of it?
I don't think it's just the celebrities. Watching the commentary over the last several days, I think that the media complex, celebrities, people who are on the left side of the aisle are in various stages of shock. I am seeing some people that are reflecting a little bit and trying to understand how did we miss this in what seems to be an honest kind of way. But whenever you have something that does not go the way expected in politics, when something blows up, people are going to start pointing fingers. And that's kind of unfortunate because I'd rather that they be focusing on how did we not understand what was going to happen here. But it's also probably a good thing because if they're going to remake the party or if they're going to try and raise their brand in the minds of the voters again, they have to start tearing apart everything that they've done over the last few years to understand why are we out of touch. That's actually the first thing, is they need to understand that they are out of touch. And I don't think that they're quite there yet. But I think that the numbers are sufficient that they're going to have to question that once they get past the initial shock. And then they're going to have to start figuring out, what do we need to do to become a viable party again? And I think that it's going to take a lot of work.
Lauren, I think too that what's happening here is there is a mass psychosis shattering. And I think that these people thought this was in the bag. I believe that it's not just politics. It's also the realization that they have very little influence. Let me give you some quick statistics on this, Lauren. 1 out of 3 so-called people of color, whatever that might mean. Folks, it's up to your interpretation, but 1 out of 3 people of color voted for the Donald. Almost half, it's something like 45%, of people who are called now Latino, not Latinx anymore, apparently. Latinos voted for the Donald. Folks, I'm not here to tell you, we're not here to get political. I'm just here to say that I think for celebrities who pitched this as Satan himself riding in on a Luciferian horse versus the Archon of Virtue, I think for them to now have lost, it's not only that they had a political loss, it's that there's a complete paradigm shift. People didn't listen to them, and they think that everyone listens to them from the moment they arise until the moment they go to bed. They can't understand. How did people not listen to us? But Lauren, let me show you something real quick. Take a look at this. At least one celebrity is following through. America Ferrera is devastated that Harris lost and will leave the United States. Lauren, we'll read this article in just a moment, but give me your thoughts on that idea of the mass psychosis theory that I have, that celebrities are actually dealing with something akin to having their closest friend betray them. Their whole world has fallen out from underneath them as they fundamentally realize they are not in the position they thought they were influencing society.
Well, again, I don't think that this is limited to just celebrities, and I'm gonna get I'm gonna get my biases out right up the front. I've made no bones about the fact that I'm conservative and I'm a Trump supporter, and so there's my bias up there for all of you to see.
You stereotypical white male. What do we have you on this show for? How dare you, sir, be part of the norm? I can't believe it.
Well, that said, I try to look at these things as objectively as I can, and I do think that we have been going through a period that is akin to a mass psychosis or a mass delusion for some time. But I think that there's different people that are experiencing that or causing it in different ways. I think you have the what we would call the political left here in the United States and the media I think after Barack Obama was elected president, they sort of had this conception that they had become the masters of the universe and could set the narrative.
Yes. And by that word, what you mean is that they could determine what would be the orthodox truth accepted across media, the political, everything. They would set the narrative as the truth.
Slightly more than that, I think. I think they had gained such hubris because they had been so successful in moving the electorate to their side that they almost believed that they could speak reality into existence. I think that they came to be in such an echo chamber that they truly believed. Now, I think there's two different sides here. There's the media and the politicians themselves who are trying to set the agenda, and they have an agenda. And then you have the electorate and the people who are inclined to be on that side of the aisle. And I think that they believed that they truly did have a majority. And I think that it's probably more likely that independents have gained in larger numbers than either Democrats or Republicans had believed. Where before, I think we were closer to a 45-45-10 split. I think we're probably closer now to a 35-35-30 split. And a lot of that is because as the left moved ever leftward, they started pushing people on the moderate side of the left to the right. So they ended up in either the center or, if they were disgusted enough, on the right side of the aisle. But I don't think that they realized just how many people on their own side that they had sacrificed. And so in doing that, I think one of the biggest mistakes over the last couple of years was, I think 2022 got completely misread by everybody, the right, the left, everybody. There was an expected red wave. And when that red wave didn't materialize, I think the left took that as an even bigger sign that they controlled the narrative from front to back and that they truly did control everything and would into perpetuity. But there's another way to look at that, and that is that the red wave didn't materialize, but it was also not as small of a wave as it could have been. I think 2022 was the electorate giving one last chance to the left and sort of acting as a warning. It was a suggestion that you need to moderate. We're not going to slap your hand this time. And then they didn't moderate. In fact, they went further left. And I think at that point, there were a lot of people that just said, okay, we gave you a chance. Now we're just going to wait you out, and we're going to be quiet, and we're going to wait until the time comes to actually now punish you for our displeasure. Because there has been 4 straight years of us telling you that we're dissatisfied, where the polls have said the country's going in the wrong direction. And they've been saying pretty clearly that the top issues, are the economy and immigration and crime and safety. Those issues have essentially been almost laughed off by the party in power. They've been ignored, and they keep telling us, you're not really understanding what's going on. It's not as bad as you think it is, and you can afford it. And I think that's one of the most egregious mistakes that you can make. And this is why I think the politics of envy don't work when it comes to handouts in the welfare state, is because nobody should ever be able to tell you what you can afford. Nobody knows what your budget is or what your priorities are. And when you start deciding that you can help yourself to somebody else's income, they take that pretty personally. And especially when it gets to the point where you're now in danger of not being able to support your family or the lifestyle that you want to live, that's when people will finally wake up and take notice. And I think that's what's happened here.
Lauren, you're in deep, deep trouble because you've taken this into a deep, deep conversation, and you have forced my hand for the first time in this channel's history. I'm going to give my political analysis as to what you've said. I think we would be depriving the audience if I did not follow up on that. So here's what I think. Folks, it's a very rare thing. First time ever I've done this. Lauren, my assessment of the red wave in 2022 and the lack of it happening, it was more like a red ripple, is that I believe that without the presence of Trump, I think that the moderates and the centrists and the right, which have become sort of similar at least, I think that without Trump, that they view the Republican establishment as deceptive and against them and of a uniparty sort of structure. And so I don't think they trust them. I don't think they believe in them. I think they believe that they will find some way to subjugate them. And so I think that it doesn't have to be necessarily Trump, but it has to be somebody who they find trustworthy to follow through on what they say they will do. Now, that's my assessment. That's why I think you have such a change from 2022 to 2024, is I think that you have to have an archon. You have to have somebody that people can believe in that will actually do what they say they will do, and they'll do it competently. And people have assessed clearly that that's going to happen this time. So I'll let you follow up on that, and then we do need to get back into entertainment for a moment, but go ahead, Lauren.
Yeah, I think that the irony of what's happened here is that the right side of the aisle has, under Trump, has now become a much bigger tent. And I think that that's a good thing. And I think that it's wonderful that you have a number of people that have traditionally been Democrats, or even still are Democrats, are being brought into Trump's administration, either as advisors or cabinet members. And I think the overall effect of that is that we should have moderation towards the middle on both the left and the right. And if so, that should be, at the very least, it indicates that the pendulum has swung, but that it is also going to settle back towards the middle. And if that happens, maybe we can get to a point where we can start talking to each other and trying to make deals again. We've gotten so far away from the politics of compromise that it's been very difficult to have any kind of stability in the country. And I think that that's where we need to be. We need to get back to a point where both parties rebuild themselves in some kind of a new image and start understanding that you're not going to get your way on everything, but we can compromise and try to attend to each other's needs in a balanced kind of way. And that's the way things used to work, at least at some periods of history.
No, I totally agree with you. And I think that what we've been watching from the Republican side is that the Trumpian version of republicanism is very different than what we've seen, but I think it's rather similar to Reagan. And I think that the birthing pains of Trumpism inside the conservative movement is that they've been shedding the Bush dynasty years, policies, all of that. And also, you might lump in with that the Mitch McConnells, the Thunes, the Cornyn's, all that crew. I think that the Trump effort has been to go back to the Reagan philosophies and principles. We'll see how that plays out. And now the Democrats have to face their own reckoning. Here's the article.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
The article says America Ferrera is devastated that Kamala Harris lost, will leave the U.S. This is out of Times of India. It says Barbie actor America Ferrera is reportedly contemplating leaving the country as she is devastated that El Trumpo won the election, a Daily Mail report claimed. She will not be abandoning Hollywood, so she won't really go away, but she wants her family to be in the United Kingdom. Daily Mail reported, citing an insider, that America, the girl, not the country, is planning to move to southwest London, and she started looking for a private school there earlier. America is sick that Donald Trump is president again. She is devastated that Kamala lost. She thought the country she lived in was better than that, the report said. Poor America. She is going to continue to have a presence in the U.S., well, because she can't leave, because it's still the greatest country on the planet, for work purposes, a.k.a. she's all about that money, baby. Give me that money. Give me them U.S. dollars. Give me that Trump cash. And to fight for Latinas, not Latinx, that died with the election, and women, but she will be overseas for family to benefit her kids' education. So we've got one that's leaving, Lauren. Let me show you the full list, though. That's one. Here's the full list, according to Capitalist Mike, and I'll run through these real quick, and folks, you see if all these people are leaving. According to the list, here are all the celebrities who said they were saying adios if the Donald returned. George Clooney, Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Bad Bunny, Ricky Martin, Barbara Streisand, Leonardo DiCaprio, Eminem. Will the real Donald please stand up? Sarah Jessica Parker, Steven Spielberg, Whoopi, Rosie O'Donnell, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jane Fonda, Ben Stiller, Matt Damon, Jennifer Aniston, Robert De Niro, Tom Hanks, no, Woody, no, Miley Cyrus, crashing into Europe like a wrecking ball, Bette Midler, Bruce Springsteen, Lady Gaga, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, well, she can't go anywhere, LeBron James, Billie Eilish, Stephen King, Julia Roberts, Meryl Streep, and Kevin Spacey. Lauren, that's the list of the celebrities who say they're out of here, they're gone, they're getting out of here. And folks, if you doubt us, go check out, we're not going to read this article, but Newsweek, we've got the link down in the video description. Go look at it. It's got the video. It's got the receipts. We know these people have been saying this. Newsweek's got it. Go check it out. Lauren, I don't think they're really going to leave. Do you?
No, but even if they do, they have the means and the ability to have multiple homes in multiple countries. And so leaving doesn't really mean that much, especially as you said, they're going to continue to act and produce content. They have the luxury to be able to say things like this, where those of us who don't have the luxuries to just be able to flit around the globe and act as a global citizen have to live under the policies that they would like to see enacted.
And
they can't imagine.
Lauren, they do that, Lauren, with your money and my money and all the money that people gave to go see a movie that had them in it. That's how they do it.
Yes, but I don't begrudge them that either. It's like that goes back to the politics of envy, and I'm not going to begrudge them whatever money that they make.
But here's what I would like, Lauren. I'm not envious. I'm not mad at them. I don't begrudge them. I'm happy that they made money. I'm happy. I want them to make more money. But what I would like, Lauren, is if all the hardworking people across America made them extraordinarily wealthy. Just a little RESPECT for the American people. Just a little respect, baby. Show it back. Share the love to the folks in Oklahoma. Give a little smoochy smooch. Okay, don't go that far. But have a little love for the people in South Dakota. You don't got to hate. Get it out of your heart, people.
One of the things that I think that they may find interesting if they do actually switch their primary residences and become citizens of other countries is that, and I'm not suggesting that Europe, for instance, is necessarily a hellscape, but we do have protections for the First Amendment here. And for a while, it hasn't felt like that for a number of us. And so one of the things I am most encouraged by is some of Trump's proposals for a digital Bill of Rights, for instance. And if that does come to fruition, I will be very happy about that, because I think that is one of the greatest threats that was coming if Harris was to have a victory, is the censorship apparatus would continue. I do think that this election has kind of wrested a large degree of control from the traditional media, but I don't think that that fight is over yet. And I suspect that that's going to be a continuing bone of contention for a while, because they're not going to go quietly into the night.
I agreed with that, Lauren. And hate to break it to you, but also Hollywood and the powers that be, they really, really don't want the celebrities to leave. And they really, really don't want the celebrities to stop doing these endorsements, because it's big, big money. So let me read this to you. This is out of the trades, and the trades happen to just usually be the mouthpieces of the industry. Chris Willman is the author here. It says, "Stop blaming celebrity endorsements for Kamala Harris' loss. We need to hear from artists now more than ever." From Variety, who survives based on artists speaking out. It looks to me like the corporations are saying, please don't stop. Please don't go away. We need you. We need that money. Here's the article. Did you know that Bruce Springsteen and Beyonce lost that election for Kamala Harris? I'll tell you what, they may have lost the election, but they made a lot of money, I think. Or at least bear a large part of the responsibility for her party's failure at the polls this year. It's true, you know. At least if you listen to some of the punditry coming from conservatives, and even from some Democratic operatives eager to find some celebs to push into the middle of their current circular firing squad. Listening to some of these voices, you'd think that Harris could have won 6 or 7 swing states if only Beyonce hadn't shown up to deliver one single 4-minute rally speech. Well, if she'd sang, it might have helped. Or if T Swift hadn't devoted a singular 300-word Instagram post to a Harris endorsement. Imagine the more favorable electoral counts if only some of the most beloved pop culture figures in the world had kept their dirty traps shut, right? And this essentially goes on and on and on and on. Look at this, Lauren. It's one of those. You know, this is a lot. This is a lot to say, please don't stop. Please don't stop. Please give those endorsements. It's big money. And the websites love them too, because every time they do an endorsement, it's an article and it's a video, and they get to talk about it on CNN and MSNBC. This is an industry, Lauren. Celebrities trying to flout their clout is an entire industry with people who have careers who survive on it. Like little tapeworms inside an intestinal tract. Like they need the celebrities to come out and make some mundane statement so they can click around about it. Lauren, your thoughts on the industry now being terrified that the celebrities will actually follow through on their threats? No, please don't leave. Please. We need you for clickbait.
I think that our media masters would probably be better served studying philosophy rather than politics, because what they're saying here is that they're claiming that we're saying that it is the celebrity endorsements that caused the Harris failure. And that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is you should be listening to your constituents, the people who are actually living under your policies. The problem is, look at what's happening in Hollywood now. Look at the box office receipts this year. Look at how many people didn't listen to the celebrity endorsements. We have tuned them out. If you keep relying on them to make your endorsements, the question I would ask is, if a celebrity makes an endorsement and nobody is there to hear it, did it happen?
It's a great point. And Lauren, I would say too that the full-blown assessment's just wrong from these articles. It has nothing to do with the celebrities. That's the whole point. So Variety, listen to me. Deadline, listen to me, please. I'm trying to help you here. Your assessment is akin to seeing someone having a heart attack and their skin turns pale and you say, aha, dermatological issue. Let's fix that. We'll help you with your skin, sir. No, this is an issue of the heart. The heart of your problem is that people don't want your policies. It's not the message. It's not the messengers. You have a policy problem. And the issue here is that your policies were turned into quasi-religious positions. You let politics metastasize in all kinds of areas of life that it should not be. and it turned into a weird cult thing. And now that your cult is gone, or at least it's diminished, the comet didn't arrive and take you all to the utopia. Now you're all freaking out. And what you really need to do is just go, you know what? Maybe switching the last vowel in Latino or Latina to an X, maybe that was semantic colonialism, and we shouldn't have done that. Maybe having some of these extreme positions, maybe flooding the country with all kinds of people in a rapid manner, maybe these were really, really unpopular. Maybe lying to the American people about dementia was a bad idea, especially when it was exposed to everyone. Maybe that's what's going on. And Lauren, I think they secretly deep down know it. They just can't show it because it indicts them.
Yes, there has to be some cognitive dissonance here, because if it turns out that what the numbers seem to show for this election are true, and they really are outnumbered, at least at present, then they have to face the fact that not only have they been rejected, but that if we're telling the truth and we are suffering under their policies, then they are responsible for that, and they bear some responsibility for that. And that requires self-reflection, and they're not ready to do that yet. I think the combination of the policies that they were imposing on us and the arrogance of the way that they were doing it is really what turned off the electorate. They had forgotten or didn't care that in our system, the way our government is supposed to work is that we are the masters of the political class. They are our public servants. They work for us. They are not our rulers. And they have been acting very much as our rulers for quite some time and telling us they didn't need to pay attention to our needs because they had the power and they thought they were going to keep it. This has been a rebuke that tells them, no, we still retain the power. And if you do not attend to our needs, we'll show you the door.
And I think we need to say, too, with clarity and with respect for what happened, that were it not for Elon Musk, I think they would have succeeded. And had they succeeded, I think they would have controlled things for 50 years. But Elon Musk broke through by purchasing X at an amount of money that seemed ludicrous. Now he's the king of media, and he's made it such that for better or worse, free speech will survive for decades. I think it's the basis of all our rights. So I think that's all right with me to have free speech keep going. I think it's a tremendous gift to humanity, a turning point in history. Others may say, well, darn it, we don't like that because it took our power away. But Elon Musk, I think, was a decisive figure in securing free speech for the Western world going forward. We'll see how it plays out, folks. Of course, what we cover here on this channel every single day is free speech. If you wonder, why are we delving into these kinds of topics? It's because entertainment is literally the manifestation of free speech. That's what drama, depending on how you want to say it, is. It is you going and watching people play out thoughts and ideas on a stage, on a screen, on your TV, on your phone, wherever it might be. And that's what we cover day in and day out. And this was the biggest, I think, production we've ever seen. Trump versus Harris. We now know how it has gone down. And we just hope the celebrities will be okay. Lauren, if they need any kind of therapy, I'm sure you're there for them. A shoulder to cry on for the celebrities.
I'll certainly be willing to talk them through it.
You heard it there, folks. He's one of the most popular guys on YouTube, and now you've got him as a buddy, as a pal. All right, folks, you can be our buddy, our pal. Click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, and stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And Lauren, tell the folks out there where they can find you on this great, big, beautiful web.
You can find me at Lauren Connor on X, or you can find me at Lauren Connor 9030 on YouTube. You'll see me on the Genre Guys videos that we do with Lou Wasserman's Ghosts and Hangry Table. I appear here with Pro quite frequently, so look me up. You can find me pretty easily.
And folks, I'll just tell you, privately today, I was talking with somebody about business stuff and all kinds of different strategies, and the name Lauren Connor came up, and I said, let me tell you, Lauren may come on the channel to talk about Star Wars or Indiana Jones or Lucasfilm, but he's flat out one of the smartest guys you're ever going to find, and I mean it. So go over there and subscribe to Lauren Connor as soon as you can. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap for now, but the Pro Show's coming up at noon Eastern if you're watching this video at the time of release. All right, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Hey, Wilson. Oh, what was that?
Oh, that's Valiant Renegade's channel responding to the earnings call.
Oh,